Welcome back to Motor Masters, the home of military machines, unstoppable engines, and high-powered engineering. Whether it rumbles across the battlefield, soars through the sky, or patrols the seas, we break it down right here. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because today we're diving into one of the most iconic main battle tanks of the modern era, the Russian T-72. For over 5 decades, the T-72 has been the backbone of armored forces across the world. Born from Cold War tensions and Soviet design philosophy, this tank was created to be simple, powerful, and mass-producible. First entering service in 1969, the T-72 was designed to complement and eventually replace older Soviet tanks like the T-55 and T-62, while also serving as a more affordable and reliable alternative to the high-tech but complex T-64. At its core, the T-72 represents the Soviet doctrine of quantity with quality. It's a low-profile tank, designed to be harder to hit, easier to conceal, and fast enough to exploit breakthroughs in enemy lines. Measuring just over 2.2 meters tall, it's one of the shortest tanks of its class, and that gives it a distinct battlefield advantage: less visible, harder to target, and easier to maneuver in tight terrain. Powering the T-72 is a V12 diesel engine producing around 780 horsepower in early models, with later upgrades pushing up to 1,130 horsepower. This engine gives the tank a top road speed of about 60 km per hour, and a range of 460 km with external fuel tanks. It's not the fastest, but it's rugged, reliable, and built to keep moving across rough terrain. One of the biggest strengths of the T-72 is its mechanical simplicity. It can be maintained and repaired in the field with minimal tools, something that has made it extremely popular with armies operating in challenging environments. When it comes to firepower, the T-72 doesn't disappoint. Its main armament is the 125mm 2A46 smoothbore gun, capable of firing armor-piercing, high-explosive, and anti-tank guided rounds. Unlike Western tanks that typically use manual loaders, the T-72 is equipped with an autoloader. This allows for a smaller crew of 3, commander, gunner, and driver, and helps keep the turret compact and low. The autoloader feeds rounds into the chamber at a rate of up to 8 rounds per minute, making the T-72 capable of sustained firepower in combat situations. For secondary weapons, the T-72 carries a coaxial 7.62mm machine gun and a roof-mounted 12.7mm anti-aircraft machine gun. These are primarily used for engaging infantry, soft targets, and low-flying aircraft. While not groundbreaking, they provide a vital defense layer in urban and asymmetric combat zones. Armor protection has evolved throughout the T-72's long service life. The original steel composite armor has been enhanced in later models with explosive reactive armor, or ERA, to protect against shaped charges and anti-tank missiles. Some modern variants like the T-72B3 feature relict ERA and improved turret and hull armor, offering better protection against modern threats. While not as heavily armored as newer Western tanks like the M1 Abrams or Leopard 2, the T-72 makes up for it with mobility, upgradability, and numbers. Speaking of numbers, this tank has been produced in staggering quantities, over 25,000 units since the 1970s. It's been exported to over 40 countries and has seen action in nearly every major conflict since the 1980s, from the Iran-Iraq War and the Gulf War to the conflicts in Chechnya, Syria, and most recently, in Ukraine. Its performance has varied widely, depending on the variant, crew training, and battlefield conditions. While older T-72s have struggled against modern anti-tank weapons, upgraded models with better armor, optics, and fire control systems have proven to be formidable opponents. One of the reasons the T-72 remains relevant is its continuous modernization. Russia and several other operators have invested in upgrading older T-72 fleets to extend their service life. The T-72B3 and T-72B3M, for example, feature digital fire control systems, new thermal sights, modern radios, improved ERA, and more powerful engines. These upgrades bring the T-72 closer to third-generation main battle tank standards, making them competitive on today's battlefield without the cost of designing new tanks from scratch. Beyond Russia, countries like India, Poland, Ukraine, and Iran have either operated or produced their own T-72 variants. India's Ajaya, for example, is a domestically modified version of the T-72 M1, tailored to suit Indian operational needs. Poland developed the PT-91 Twardy, while Iran created the T-72Z and Zulfikar tanks based on T-72 chassis and technology. Each variant reflects how adaptable and versatile the T-72 design truly is. Despite its age, the T-72 continues to be a key player in modern conflicts. Its combination of firepower, mobility, and upgrade potential means that it still has a role to play, especially in large-scale mechanized warfare where cost, availability, and logistics matter just as much as armor thickness or cutting-edge tech. Of course, the T-72 has its critics. The autoloader, while efficient, stores rounds inside the crew compartment, increasing the risk of catastrophic explosions if the armor is breached. This vulnerability has been observed in many conflicts, especially when older variants face modern anti-tank weapons. However, modernized versions have made improvements in survivability, crew protection, and ammunition storage. Ultimately, the T-72 is a tank that was built to fight, not just once, but over and over, across continents and decades. It's not the most advanced, the most luxurious, or the most expensive. But it's dependable, effective, and built to do the job. And in the world of armored warfare, that matters more than anything. Thanks for riding along with us through the iron legacy of the T-72. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and drop your thoughts in the comments. Want us to cover the T-90, the Leopard 2, or something more experimental? Let us know what you want to see next. And don't forget to subscribe to Motor Masters, where we explore the machines that move, fight, and dominate the world stage. From tanks and jets to ships and missiles, we bring the power straight to your screen. Until next time, keep the engines roaring, the turrets turning, and remember, at Motor Masters, we don't just admire machines, we live for them.